But if you know what life is worth, you will look for yours on earth. And now you see the light. Stand up for. Wait, I'm gonna rewind that again.
Take away everything and make everybody feel high.
But if you know what life is worth, you will look for yours on earth.
And now you see the light.
Stand up for your rights. Let me repeat that again. What is he saying in that verse? If you knew what life was worth, you would look for your God on earth. Now, as what Kanye West was saying yesterday about him being a God and why he says that, and I said something about Tony Robinson. Now, to me, same thing. To me, Tony Robinson is a God MC walking right now. So I had to bring it to you because I brought him up with Kanye. So it wouldn't be right. So here we go. But definitely that verse goes definitely along with this video I'm about to bring to you guys right here. Let's get into it.
Winfrey calls him superhuman.
That's nice.
What does that mean?
Let's go again.
Winfrey calls him superhuman.
That's nice.
What does that mean to be superhuman in Oprah's eyes?
I don't know.
Wow. Tony Robbins is here, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Robbins is on Sway in the Morning. What does this mean? Have to be?
It
We
means
made it.
we've arrived.
I
That
remember.
means I've arrived. I got to be here with you.
Oh, thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. Remember early on, some of the first time seeing you on Oprah, in fact, and other programs, and being a kid growing up in Oakland.
Okay.
A lot of times, a lot of the conversation I didn't necessarily relate to.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Especially self-help
Yes.
based conversation, self-motivation, how to get off that couch, how to pursue your dreams, how to believe in yourself, invest in yourself.
How to get off drugs.
But you have a way of communicating that it doesn't matter who you are, where you from, what economic status you live in, religious beliefs, color of skin, none of that matters. It just resonates. It cuts through all of that BS. And then it hits you right in the heart and in the mind. And you help people like me be confident in what it is they're pursuing to do, the dreams they have, even when they're broke, even when doors have been slammed in their face. So one of the things I always say to friends of mine that I work with, you are your best natural resource. Invest in that.
You're so right. You're so right.
And I kind of bit that from you. I hope you don't mind, man. I hope that ain't no copyright infringement right there, Tony Robbins.
I'm going to start tweeting that and put Sway underneath it.
Okay, all right. Thank you, man. So, how did it all happen? How did it all start for you, though? What you know?
Well, I grew up in a pretty tough environment myself. No money, no food at times. In fact, I wrote this book. In the middle of writing this book, I decided I had Thanksgiving where there was literally no food, and my family was fed by some strangers. And I'll never forget the day. It changed my life because it made me believe strangers care. So it made me start to care about strangers. And I swore someday I'd find a way to give back. So I want to know every answer. I hate suffering because I've experienced it. My friends have experienced it. My family did. So I wanted answers. What do you do to change your body? What do you do to change your mind? What do you do to change your emotions? What do you do to change your economics? And I became obsessed. I've been obsessed for 37 years. But I try to pay it forward. So I've fed now 42 million people. Started feeding 2 people, then 4 the next year, then 8. And this year I decided I thought, I don't know if you know, but they cut food stamps. They don't call it food stamps anymore, but by 8.7 billion. We used to live on that, my family.
So did ours.
And I was like, are you kidding me? 2 million people just disappear like that. Like they disappear. And I feed people every year. I feed 2 million people through my foundation. I do 2 million, I match it. And I'm really proud to be able to do that, to pay it forward. So I've fed 42 million people in my life. This year I thought, you know what, I'm going to take this book. I'm going to write a book that changes anybody's life. I don't care where they are, just beginning the journey. They're in trouble, they turn around. And I thought, I'm going to donate all the profits in advance. How many people could I feed? And I found I could feed 10 million people with all that I was getting. So then it got bigger. So I'm feeding 50 million people starting a week from now with Feeding America. And I'm getting them to work with matching.
Like I said, if you knew what life was worth, you will look for your God on earth, like Bob Marley say. Let's get it.
Fun, so we feed 100 million people. So I'm going to go from a guy that had no food to be able to help 100 million people. It's pretty exciting.
Tony Robbins, man. Let me ask you this. If you as one individual can feed 100 million people, why are there still people starving on this planet?
Well, I think there's plenty of resources, man. I just think the unfortunate part is people think about themselves.
Yeah.
And the worst part about that is there's nothing worse than an angry rich man or an angry rich woman. You know, they got all the resources in the world, but what they've forgotten is they expect everything. I tell people, you want to change your life and you have no money, it doesn't matter. Trade expectation for appreciation.
Yeah.
And your whole life changes. Because you know, you can have $1 billion, and if every day you're pissed off and frustrated and angry, your life's pissed off, frustrated, and angry. That's the quality of your life. But if you have nothing, I've been there plenty of times, but you're grateful for what you have, you're rich. I mean, you really do. You have more joy than they do. So I think it starts with becoming emotionally rich, and then it's coming up with a plan and deciding you're going to master this area of your life, not dabbling, but saying, I'm going to kick its ass. I'm going to figure this thing out. And that's what I did.
Title of the book is Money Master the Game: 7 Simple Steps to Financial Freedom. Real quick, Tracy was talking to Heather B about giving to bums on the street. Homeless, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Not bums, wait, Tony's here. We can't
Tony,
use
can you
our
use those words
language.
for Tony here?
I'm
All
trying
right.
to take care of these people. They can't be bums, man.
Okay, my bad. Heather has a theory on that.
You can't give to everybody, Tony. I'm just being honest. My
That's
way,
true.
because I see the same people all the time. And one day I walked past a homeless guy, or not sure if he's homeless, a guy who's always at Port Authority,
Yes.
and he was smoking cigarettes. And I was like, cigarettes are $12 a pack.
Yes.
I don't even have enough for cigarettes. How am I feeding your habit? So I'm kind of selective about who I give money to.
I don't think that's wrong. I think putting your money where you think it's going to really make a difference is smart. I have a different philosophy, but my philosophy started early on because I met this man who mentored me, and he said, look, Tony, he goes, if you go there and somebody asks you for some money, if you got it, he said, you got two choices. Evaluate them, and you might be wrong. You might think this person's just going to go smoke crack with us or something. But my view is, if I got it, I give it. It's not for me. Let God decide that.
Yeah.
If I have the ability, then I'm going to do it. Now, you know, some people are mad if you don't have more and things like that. And I just, you know, that's part of life as far as I'm concerned. But I try to direct my money, obviously, to people that are going to be resourceful. They're going to do that and grow it, help their family, make something happen. But, you know, those daily experiences, I think they really matter. I had a guy one time, I'll never forget, I was in Boston, and it was like midnight. And this guy is wobbling back and forth across, you know, between the street and the sidewalk. He's drunk as hell, you could tell. And I thought, this guy, I know he's going to beg me for some money. And then sure enough, he gets real close to me and all of a sudden pops his head and goes, Mister. He said, would you loan me a quarter? He's just stoned out of his mind, right? And I looked at him, I thought, do I want to reinforce this behavior, just like you said? At the same time, I thought, I don't want him to suffer. So I thought, maybe I can teach him a lesson. So I said, is that all you want, is a quarter? He said, yeah, just a quarter. Quarter changed my whole life. One quarter changed my whole life. So I reached in my pocket, I pulled out my billfold, and I made sure there was hundreds on the outside. Right? I made sure he saw the hundreds, reached under it, got a quarter. Put my money back in my pocket. He's watching the hand. He's watching it go back in the pocket. He sees the quarter. I put the quarter in his hand, and I said, life will pay whatever price you ask of it. And
Wow.
he stared at me,
Whoa.
looked back at my pocket, looked at the quarter, looked back at my pocket, looked at me and said, you're weird.
Wow.
Tony
I think I was a
Robbins.
total failure, man.
Not sure if that one paid off, Tony. All right, Tony Robbins is here.
Wow.
I want to ask you, how can the person who makes $30,000 or less improve their financial situation in this day and age? If you have any suggestions and if this book apply to them, you have issues, 888-742-3345. Question Tony Robbins. Sway in the Morning, Shade 45, the author of the book Money Master the Game: 7 Simple Steps to Financial Freedom. Man, inspirational speaker, just all around great guy. Tony Robbins is here. Heather, Tony just, I didn't think he would remember this, but we created this original series, first mobile series of its kind for Viacom.
Okay.
With him through MTV. It was called the Hip Hop Owner's Manual.
Yes.
And this was back, I don't even remember what year that might have
don't
been.
know.
No, that might have been 08, 05.
Yeah, 4,
was it
5, 6 years ago,
5,
yeah.
4? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So, and it was the first of its kind, and it was revolutionary. So no one else had done it to that point. We brought in Tony Robbins. What was the word?
Ratchet.
Oh, yeah, we had him break down Ratchet. Right?
Wow.
Do you remember what you said?
Yeah, I was talking about, it's doing it your way and not giving a damn what anybody else thinks about, right? So I was talking about you got to raise your game. You know, you just can't play the way you were playing, and you got to be real, and you got to shut off the fear.
Yeah.
It was like Tupac's whole thing. You can't look in the rearview mirror, right? What's he say in his last line of the song? Real men do what they want, bitches do what they can, right? So I said, don't be a bitch. That's all I ended it.
That's all you said. That's right, Tony Robbins. Hey, man, have you followed any of other hip hop artists?
Well, over the years, yeah, LL Cool J's, listen to my stuff. So I
Greatest.
bumped into him. He's amazing. I bumped into him just recently. He tells I listen to your stuff all the time when I'm working out.
Yeah.
So over the years, I've met several of them. Jay-Z actually, somebody's just connecting with us. His manager was at my book party last night. So there's some really cool people. I love their music. If you go to my seminars are all music.
Yeah.
Because I take people for 50 hours in 4 days. I mean, nobody will sit for a 3-hour movie. And I got, like Oprah says to me, she goes, I'm never, Tony, I love you, but I'm not going to sit anywhere for more than 2.5 hours. And 12 hours later, she's standing in a chair going, this is one of the greatest experiences of my life. Usher came and did the 4-day program recently and just loved it, had a blast. He laughed his ass off and, just really transformed and took things to another level. So, yeah, I mean, music is my life because without music, I mean, how do you change your state? There's drugs, there's alcohol, there's food, and there's music, you know what I mean? And then there's exercise, lifting, running, things of that nature. So music, working out, those are places that I see no downside where you can really change yourself in a heartbeat.
Wow, so he's named Usher,
Jay-Z,
LL
Cool J.
Cool J.
Oh, shit, I dropped some good lines there. Very fast.
And you remember when Big Sean was up here, he mentioned also like doing some one-on-one time with you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do people really seek you out, or is it like conversation sometimes?
No, they usually, somebody usually reaches out to me because who reaches out to me is somebody who's hungry. So either they're hungry because they're the best in the world, they're always looking for the edge. I actually was fortunate, I just got the cover of Fortune magazine and I listed all these people that I work with. And most of those guys are the best in the world at what they do. Or people reach out to me because they're having a tough time. People that are in the middle who are, they're not really happy, but they're not really that unhappy. They rarely reach out. I look for people that are at the edge, like I've been, or people that are the best on earth. Because then you got the hunger. I mean, if there's one thing that separates human beings, it isn't skill, it isn't intelligence. Lots of smart people can't fight their way out of a paper bag.
Yeah.
But it's somebody who's hungry, man. If you're hungry and you don't lose your hunger, I mean, you've got it. Anybody you know has got it, right? I still have it. It never goes away. That hunger is a gift from God. But you can unleash it. You can awaken it in people. And when it gets awakened, their lives change.
Beast. Tony Robbins is here. Go ahead, Heather.
Really quick, when Sway said Tony Robbins is coming, I jumped up and down. I was like, oh my gosh, the man from Shallow Hal is going to be here. Because I just remember, that was my first introduction to you. I didn't know about everything until Tracy and people started talking about you. What do you do for fun? I'm just curious. Do you go to the movies?
Make love to my woman.
I knew he was a
Ain't
slayer.
nothing better than that, baby.
Yeah, you be breaking that
We
back,
do that.
huh?
Go to movies, go to concerts, run, work out, scuba dive. I'm fortunate enough to have a place in Fiji that's, it's a resort that I own. This top resort I built from nothing, so I go there. So it's kind of fun. So we do all those different things together. But time with my wife, we've been married 15 years. And I can tell you, I'm insane for this woman. I've never been more insane. I'm more in love with her. I'm more attracted to her than I've ever been. And I see people that, after 2 or 3 years, they're bored with each other. And I just think, I feel bad for them, So I feel really blessed in that area. But we do our part, right? So you got to keep that alive. And it's not hard to keep alive when you got somebody that's perfect for you. And I'm very blessed that way.
I could
Thank
just hear
you for
him
sharing
chanting,
that.
like he
Yeah.
chanting motivational things while they're making love. They keep her drinking.
Whose
Keep her
is it,
drinking.
Mama?
You can do
Whose
it.
is it,
You can do it.
Who's your daddy, baby?
Who's your
We got Megan on the line from Boston. Good morning, Megan. Say hello to
Wow,
Tony
man.
Robbins.
This dude is so
Hi,
awesome.
Tony. How are you?
Hey,
How are
I
you,
really,
Megan?
I really,
I'm
really,
doing
really,
well.
really,
And
really,
hello to
really,
Blake,
really, really,
Tracy, and
really,
Heather.
I really don't want to cut this video, but I have to go. I got a phone call. But if you see what I'm saying, you already see what I'm saying. This dude right here, unbelievable, man. And like I said, before I go, I'm gonna play this verse one more time because this goes along with this guy right here. He's awesome, man.
Take away everything and make everybody feel high. But if you know what life is worth, you will look for
The Yours on Earth, right there, man. Right there in that video, that's him, man. The God MC right there, Tony Robinson. Peace. I'm going.